I'm Nick Ferrari, and today we're discussing the conspiracy theories surrounding 9/11. And just a few moments ago, we got into the media side of it. I mentioned that Time magazine said that the idea of a conspiracy theory is now a political reality. Indeed, a recent survey of New Yorkers found that 49% of them thought that there was something amiss with 9/11. In New York State, that figure fell, but not much, to 41%. We asked the audience earlier, and we all agreed it was probably about 45% here who thought there was something amiss. If we come back to the media issue, Ian Henshall, it would seem to be source for some good stories, wouldn't it?
Well, no, because, if you're damaging the core product, if it's OK to, to have a debate about something in the media, but, one of the core products of the media is that when they tell us 100% something is true, we all believe it. Now, if you're a little journalist, if you're, one of our friends here who has so many articles published, just try doing it with a story not sceptical of the 9/11 attacks and see what sort of a friendly... No, hang on, Nick. No, you're in the circle here, Nick. You're in the
little
circle.
Journalist will speak in a second. Let's continue with Ian Henshall
Just try going to an editor with a story saying that any aspect of 9/11 is wrong, even the things that everybody now agrees are wrong with the official story about 9/11. They get downplayed, they get sidelined, people don't totally forget they've ever appeared.
Okay.
People ask us a lot,
You might want to talk about Andrew Gilligan's work on the British radio station.
If there was ever any substance to any of this, some journalist would go after it because there's a Pulitzer Prize in this, and to sort of say that everyone now agrees, that's nonsense. That's your kind of proclamation.
They wrecked their product by lying to us about the weapons of mass destruction. All the media put out that story as if it was true. Can you imagine what would happen? You don't only have to apply common sense. If you go to a newspaper editor now in the corporate media and say, look, we're going to go big on this, 9/11 was a pack of lies,
Ian Henshall, the same could be said of the death of Princess of Wales, the British Princess of Wales. If you got that story, that would be pages 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11. I know, I've worked on those papers. Yeah. That wouldn't stop you running the story.
And the other thing is, you mentioned Seymour Hersh before. Seymour Hersh has written extensively about the CIA and about the inside workings of government in the U.S. And the New Yorker, it does not, it's not a newspaper, and it's content to run 8,000-word pieces on all sorts of things. I find it very hard to believe.
Book, you'll find there's lots of references to the New Yorker. A lot of very good evidence has been brought out by Seymour Hersh. The question is, has anybody got the courage to join the dots and say, we suspect 9/11 was an inside job in George Bush's America? Now, I don't think so.
All right. Let's go to some more questions, and it's Bissy Akinola. Bissy.
Do you think 9/11 could have been prevented?
Do you think 9/11 could have been prevented? Annie Machin.
Well, that really presupposes what you think actually happened on the day. But certainly there are anomalies in the sense of the air defences just not working that day. America is supposed to have very sophisticated defences. And certainly areas like the White House, the Pentagon, are supposed to be the most secure areas in the planet. And yet they were not protected that day. So could it have been prevented? It depends who did it, which is why we need a new inquiry. But certainly there were glaring failures in what should be standard procedure to protect sensitive areas of that country.
Nick Pope?
I'd agree on that. There were clearly failures. There were clearly failures to get the aircraft airborne. There is even confusion to this day about whether there was or wasn't a shoot-down order. But of course, again, none of this makes it an inside job.
You say a shoot-down order. Yeah, this is what pertaining to United 93.
Yes,
right.
But I mean, of course, this was a totally new threat. All the training manuals, all the mindset of all the air traffic controllers, the officials, was configured on a threat from outside. This was new to them. It was beyond their experience, and some parts of the system didn't work.
That's just not right. That's just not true, Nick.
Well, you said
no, the paper trail.
Ian Henshall, then Wendy. Ian Henshall.
If you look at the paper trail, you'll see, for instance, FEMA handbook. Issued prior to
FEMA.
The American Federal Emergency Management
Authority
Agency,
or administration. OK, thank you.
There's a picture of a plane hitting the World Trade Center. I mean, everybody knew that one of the most likely things that was going to happen was that, allegedly Al-Qaeda were going to start firing... Everybody in the anti-terrorism business. Everybody in the anti-terrorism business. Why did they have that on the front cover of their manual dated prior to 2001?
Why does President Bush look as though he's been
be able to
struck
find
with a
it.
cattle probe then when he's told of what's exactly
Well,
what's going on at that
accusing
school?
Bush of being
no, but if
involved.
everybody knew that that was a... he
I
had
said
no
everybody in the
idea.
anti-terrorism community.
Oh,
Well,
okay,
discussing
Wendy
whether it's
Grossman.
Actually, planes hitting buildings in New York was a consideration because a small plane had once flown into the Empire State Building, so people knew it was possible. The thing I wanted to say is that I think the really sad thing about it, the whole thing, is that the things that we have adopted as a society, the increased surveillance, the airport security theater, none of these things are going to prevent a future attack. The thing...
Why do we do them?
Because
God
we always
knows.
defend against the
thing
last
I wanted
attack,
to,
not
yes,
the next one.
Yes, and the thing that really gets me about it is
You
that
don't
it's,
want metal scanners?
it's very clear.
airports?
I would like to be able to travel with my Swiss Army knife again.
Why?
Because it's useful.
What,
you
on
can
a plane?
cut
What are
an
you gonna do?
apple. You can
Take a stone out of a horse's hoof?
You can
I mean,
cut
what
an
are you gonna do
apple
on
and
the plane?
things. What is this? The thing I wanted to say though is that, which I've now forgotten.
Oh well, don't worry.
Is that the thing that the reason I think that the attack was successful was the psychology of the passengers. For several decades, they had been told, if somebody tries to hijack your plane, do not resist, do not call attention to yourself, nothing bad will happen to you, and the plane will be diverted, but you will get home and everybody will be safe. And on this day, those particular terrorists took advantage of that psychology, and nobody resisted because they had been told not to. And then when you get to 93, where they already had news of what had happened, you see the difference it made.
And to remind the viewers, United 93 was the plane, of course, that was downed in a field outside of Philadelphia in Pennsylvania. This, of course, gave us the famous expression, let's roll, when it is believed the passengers tried to regain control.